What is up, friends? Hey, it's Ryan Coral. Welcome to the Grow Your Video Business podcast, videocast, vidcast. This is the show for videographers and studio owners who want to learn how to get paid what they're worth, run a better business, smarter business, better business, and live a better life. I already said I'm Ryan Coral from Studio Sherpas. I have the huge honor of being your host. Today, I also get to introduce you to Holly Gillen. Holly is awesome, and the big things that we talk about in this episode is how she went from being freelance to becoming a pioneer in the online video space. We also talk about Holly's 4 pillars of pre-production that she uses to help businesses. And finally, we talk about how Holly built an online community of business owners that pay her monthly to have her coach and consult them in all things video. Before we jump in, I would love to tell you about something cool that I'm doing. February 22nd, I am launching the 5-day Grow Your Video Business Challenge, and I'd love for you to join me. It's going to be 5 days of training. It's totally free, and I'm going to help equip you with some of the strategies that I've used to build my own video production business. To join the challenge, you go to studiosherpas.com/challenge. So it's going to be awesome. If you're not up for being challenged, if you're not up for training, if you're not up for growing your video business, then it's probably not for you. If you're an action taker, this is totally going to be for you. So check it out. Now let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Core Group, and then we will get right into the episode. If there was one thing that could have ended my business 17 years ago, it would be because of the numbers. I hate accounting, taxes, W-9s, W-2s, W-40s. Spreadsheets, all of that stuff. And I hate it mostly because I'm afraid of it. I'm just not great with numbers. If this sounds familiar, or if you're so new in your business that it's not even on your radar yet, you need Core Group. Core Group can help you create financial systems and tax strategies that you need so you can grow profitably, and they've been doing this for over 20 years. They become an extension of your team so that you can stay in your lane of expertise and then lean on them to help guide you along the way. For me, having a team of experts in my corner to help keep track of our books and just to make sure that we're budgeting for taxes appropriately, to have an actual strategy for our taxes and our accounting is priceless, and it allows me to sleep easier at night knowing that I don't have to be an expert in that arena. If you want to avoid surprises in your video business and you want experienced help building a plan for the future that you want, both professionally and personally, head over to studiosherpas.com/core for more information. And when you're ready to set up a free consult with them, make sure to mention Studio Sherpas for a special discount too. Got your back. Get more out of your accountant. Go to studiosherpas.com/core. What's up, friends? My guest today is Holly Gillen. Holly empowers high-performing lady entrepreneurs, which is why she's here today, to save on both sides of the camera, saves time on both sides of the camera, and teaches them the skills they need to create not just video, but business cinema. Holly, thank you so much for being here.
Fine. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited to chat with your audience about all things business cinema.
So do you work with men as well? Let's just get that question out of the way.
I do. Sometimes a brave man or two makes it through. But I think I just generally attract mostly ladies just because of my vibe and my energy and how I approach everything.
I love that. And, interestingly enough, I feel like over the years, this community has grown in the amount of women that listen to the show, that participate in the community. But women filmmakers, it's such a small, compared to how many guys are in the industry. So I love that we're chatting today. But what I've seen so often is so many women that are in this work, they just work with women, which I think makes sense. But at the same time, every time I have a woman on, I feel like, her thing is she helps ladies. I'm like, what about the guys? We need, that's why I think it's good when guys marry a woman, because there's so many things to learn about life that, to get the woman's perspective. So thank you for being here for all of the guys that are on the show that need a female perspective.
I will share my female touch with you guys. There's a yin and a yang, and we will make it work.
So what is from
Take two.
I'm trying to think of like, a really smart way to say this question. What has been one of the most significant moments in the work that you've been able to do?
Oh, by far, one of the most significant moments was back in 2014, late 2014, early 2015. I ran a challenge. At the time, I was calling it From Zero to Video Hero, and it was composed of mostly lady online entrepreneurs who were looking to get more comfortable and confident in front of and behind the camera. And I put this challenge together based on the process that I put myself through, because I had lots of experience behind the camera, lots of experience on set, lots of experience doing all these things, but not a lot of experience actually being in front of the camera, which I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be for me to put myself in that position when I started my business, to be the face and voice of my business in front of the camera, and had all that added pressure of, hey, this is what I did as professionally, so it better look really, really good, and it better sound really good, and I better look really good, and people are going to think like all these things of me. So I literally locked myself in my office studio, as I call it, and I just kept making videos until I didn't feel uncomfortable in front of the camera anymore. And I had an epiphany through the process where I was like, okay, this uncomfortable, nervous feeling of, like having like almost an out of body experience, where I was like standing away from myself on, behind the camera, like, what are you doing? People are going to think you're a fraud. Nobody's going to even listen to what you're saying. Having that whole experience and this, nerves popping up. And I decided to change that from something negative into something positive, which was, this was me growing from the inside out, because I was doing something that I had never done before. So I was allowing my body to grow and change in a positive way. So I took that experience that I put myself through and I turned it into a 30-day video challenge, which I ran. Time I had a little over 150, 200 people sign up for. And over the course of 30 days, there was a committed 30 people within that group that made a video every single day for 30 days. And by day 7, I was like literally in tears. I was crying. People were like having huge transformations and just growing so much based on the experience. It was a combination of the support, the community, the camaraderie, the just the direction from me, just, giving out the different prompts and having everybody create this, amazing experience. And that was like pivotal.
Wow. I love that. What a great story.
Thank you.
So before that, you had a tribe of women, right?
I had started my online business back in 2013.
Okay. And like, what were you doing? Like, what was the business?
The business was, I started my business off as Videos by Holly. And my concept behind my business was DIY video for online business owners.
Okay. Wow. And
So
you're like a pioneer. I mean, 2014, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but in internet age, that's a long time ago. And doing what you're doing, incredibly helpful. I mean, that's the kind of work, you were the kind of person that people needed back then.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. The idea or the concept came to me. I was, doing a lot of freelance around New York City and in different positions. And, obviously all the clients that my colleagues were trying to clamor for were, corporations and people who had big bucks to spend. But I was like, what about all this online video and all these other people who like need video for their businesses, like websites and YouTube and, it was like 2010-ish, between 2010 and 2013, I had started my own production company to work with smaller business owners or people who had lower budgets and, just trying to create content for their websites and YouTube and things like that for them. But through that process, I realized that everybody had the same questions and concerns about video. Like, hey, I want video, but like, I don't know what kind of video I should be making. I don't know how much it should cost. And it costs way more than anybody ever thought it did. And then like, oh, well, but wait, you want me to be on camera? Like, that's not going to happen. I'm totally not ready to be, on camera. So I kept running into all of these roadblocks. So I was like, okay, let me pivot. And I pivoted and I started a company called the Media Prep Group. And that was all about preparing business owners to present themselves and their businesses on camera and in the media. And I teamed up with a public speaking coach and a media trainer. And we were doing live events in New York City, which was great. But the business model was all wrong. And I was like, you know what, let me just pull back and like pivot again. And then that's when I started my online business back in 2013 to teach people how to create, professional quality video without actually being a professional on their own, in their own home.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And so how does your work look different today versus back then?
Oh, I've learned so much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've learned so much. I think the core of it is still the same. I still have the same intention to help people overcome their fears of the camera, to create systems, processes, strategies, and plans when it comes to creating video, because that's, I feel like, a big mistake that a lot of people make when they're just getting started.
Yeah.
Is they think that, oh, I'm just going to make video because that's what everybody else is doing, and this is like the cool thing to do, and we should just do it. And they have no plan, no system, no strategy, and they end up wasting a lot of time and spinning their wheels. And they're creating video for the sake of creating video, which is what I do differently. And the core part of my business, which is I teach people how to create business cinema, which is video with a plan, a purpose, a system, and a strategy. So I joke around. I say, like when I was working professionally in video production, like I never, ever, ever, ever walked onto a set where they were like, we're just going to see what happens.
Right.
Like, so if you want to emulate the pros, like you have to think and work like a professional, and it's pre-production. Pre-production is 60 to 65% of the process. You need a plan, you need a system, you need, processes in place.
I love that. That's smart. And I can see why there would be a lot of business owners or people that feel like, hey, we need video, that would, okay, let's set the camera up. And they would just feel like, well, I can talk about a lot of things. And then when it comes to the moment, it's like, wait, what should I talk about? Where should I start and how should I end? It's like, those are important things to to think about, to consider, to have a plan for. Talk a little bit about the strategy that you create with clients, and give us some ideas on maybe how we could do the same.
Sure. I start always with the foundational things, like you're running a business. So first, where's your money coming from? It all goes back to the money. Like where you're making your money is the X on the map. And then we have to reverse engineer your content based on, how you're generating income for your business, and, that's step one. And I usually start with, besides that, the next thing I do is the 4 pillars of pre-production is what I call them. And they are why, who, what, and how. And I have my clients go through the process where, why are you actually creating video? Is it because so-and-so's making videos and you just think it's the cool thing to do right now? Or is there, does this fit into the bigger picture of what you're doing in your business, goals that you want to hit, things like that. So why do you care? Why does anybody else care? Like what's the why behind it?
Mm-hmm.
Then who's your audience? Who's going to be watching these videos? You need to understand who that is so that you can speak to them and take them to the next level. Because if it's, you're speaking to professionals who are on your level, then you may use terminology and language and speak to them in a different way than you would somebody who's never, who's behind you that you're bringing up. Like when I create videos for online entrepreneurs, I don't use terminology that I would use like if I was on a professional video set. Like this just nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about. So understanding who you're talking to first and foremost, then what are you going to talk to them about? What are your areas of expertise, and how does that tie back into what you actually have for sale? Because ideally what you want to do is you would be priming the pump and be creating content that creates a sense of curiosity about like, what's going on down the road? Like, how can I'm curious about these things and I want a solution to this particular problem. And hey, what do you know? You have the solution and it's for sale right here. Then how? Because if you know why, who, and what, but you don't actually think about the logistics, like how are you actually going to make it happen? Do you have the time? Do you have the budget? Do you have the equipment? Are you going to outsource? All of these different things. When I say budget, I mean not only financial, if you're going to be outsourcing things or hiring somebody like me to help come in and strategize and help you produce all this content, but do you need an editor? Are you going to need a production assistant or a VA who helps you do all of the 1,000 other things that maybe you don't need to yourself to be doing in your business? And time, how much time do you have? Is this a priority for you? So that's usually what I start with.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I assume from there, like as you're asking questions and really trying to gauge like exactly what it is that they need, you create some kind of a proposal that says, okay, great. Like here are some different ways that I can help you, based on what you said, like, maybe this thing you've already got, a team, so you don't need my services for anything, and you present them with different pricing and whatever. Is that kind of the process?
Actually, what I'm doing right now, I used to work with clients like that when I was working more on a one-on-one basis, but in the last 3 years, I've had 2 children.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So I actually changed because obviously the time that I had, and I had taken 2 different maternity leaves over the last 3 years. So you know, a change like that, a big change like that in your life brings new perspective
Right.
to your life and to your business, to say the least. So first time around, I came back to my business. I was like, I gotta literally wipe the slate clean here. I need to start all over. I have, you know, a much different perspective on what I want and how I want to
Right.
work with people and things like that. And then again, when I had my second baby, I did the same thing. So the way that I work with people now is through a mentorship. It's called Video Made Easy. And it's the best of both worlds. It's one-on-one with a combination of group and community, because back all the way back from, you know, the early days of my business, the community part of it, when I would be doing these challenges and be working with lots of people at the same time, like that was so fulfilling to me. And I felt like when I started doing the one-on-one work, I was missing that
Mm.
part of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's beneficial not only for me, because that's how I like to work with people, but also for, you know, the whole, because it's like, you're not only tapping into me as your mentor, but you're tapping into this brain trust of, you know, really amazing entrepreneurs and business owners who are doing things similar to what you're doing, in the sense of everybody's in there to learn more about how to create better video.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm doing now. And I absolutely love what I'm doing.
That's awesome. What's the makeup of the group? Is it all small businesses? Is it all online businesses? Is it people that have teams? Is it solopreneurs?
It's all of the above. I think I have a lot of artists. I
Mm.
have a lot of people who have just recently pivoted
Yeah.
into online entrepreneurship because of the global pandemic and having to transition their life from the physical world
Mhm.
into the online world.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there out of those the people in the community, like, do you feel like there's one particular group that really, like, they're the ones that are the most on fire, the most excited? Because for my, like, our own experience, the bigger corporations that we work with, the less, like, the less anybody just wants to even have to deal with video, right? It's just like, we got to check the box. And then the smaller not necessarily the revenue marker, but the smaller the businesses, the more people are, you know, excited and want to get in there. So I'm just curious, like, in the community that you have, you know, do you see, like, more conversation happening here, more people, like,
Everybody,
everybody?
everybody, everybody. It's a smaller community right now, since I just started it after my last maternity leave,
Yeah.
and I'm building and growing every day. But everybody in there is gung ho, committed, 100%. Like, let's do this.
Mhm.
Let's make videos. Teach me all the things.
Teach me all the things. Yeah, no problem. We'll do that. 30-day challenge. You'll have everything you ever needed and more.
So
So
actually, another component of this membership, which was mentorship, which was extremely important to me, and a lesson that I learned the hard way, was it's not a month to month thing, because video is a long-term strategy, and I need to be invested in that journey with you for an extended period of time for you to get the result that you're actually looking for. So it is a annual commitment, which
yeah,
was,
that's good. I like that,
yeah,
because a lot of
because
people
you're
think
not
this,
going to see it change overnight. Like, you
right.
can't just come in, swoop in for a month, like do 3 things, make 2 videos and be like, why didn't it go viral?
Right. I mean, it's the
That's
same
not
thing
how it
with, like,
works.
advertising or whatever. Like, you can dip your toe in it, but, like, you gotta, like, you really got to get in the water to see what works, what doesn't. Give it some time, let it breathe, see what you
Absolutely.
like doing, see what you don't like
Marinate.
doing. Yeah, like, all of that stuff. What is
Exactly.
if you
Exactly.
don't mind me asking, what does it cost for a yearly membership?
It's 3,500 for the year,
I'm not a
which is
female,
extremely reasonable based.
but
Say that again.
I said I'm not a female, but a
You get the
friend.
special male price.
Right. Right. Is it all female
So
in
it's
the group?
yeah,
Yeah, cool. I like that.
all ladies.
Yeah, $3,500 though for the year. That's a great price
It's
point.
it's extremely reasonable. Get in while the getting's good, because the price is probably going up.
Yeah. And what are they guaranteed to get out of that? They're getting community. You're showing up, like, once a week, once a month. with?
At least once a week, we do a power hour because I feel like it's the way that I built this mentorship is based on years of experience and things that I like to do and things that I like to experience when I'm part of a course or community
Yeah.
or a program.
Yep.
So one of the things that I disliked about certain programs and courses and things like that, when they would have calls, it would be like this, like a group call where maybe you had a chance to talk, maybe they talked about something that you actually needed help with, or maybe
Right.
they didn't. And it felt like a huge waste of time for me. So there's no time sucking Zoom calls where I'm just talking at you. This is very much like a boot camp experience where I'm kind of guiding you, but everybody's getting a little bit of personal attention. So at least once a week, we have a power hour where you come in, you say, okay, what are you working on? Great. Do you need help? I have breakout rooms on the Zoom so people can work in silence, or you can do a breakout room with me if you need specific help, and I'll do screen share, or I'll just create you a special tutorial video if it's not a question I can answer right away, or it needs more attention or time. So it's like you're getting personal attention at least once a week. You're getting a personal one-on-one call with me once a month. You get the community, you get access to a course that I created that breaks down all of the fundamentals called the Video Content Map being an acronym for Marketing Action Plan. You get access to my Make Over Your YouTube Channel course. You get access to my Go Live Like a Pro course. You get access to all of the things. And then we do specific deep dive monthly strategies where everybody in the group's working on the same thing.
I love that. Do you have a number in your mind that you're like, man, when I hit this many people, I'm not going to be able to give them, a call a month, or?
I do have that number in mind. But once I reach that number, I'll be able to bring in the right people to help me continue to cultivate those relationships.
Yeah.
The way that I think that they need to be cultivated.
Yeah. I love that. What would you say, like, do you have a mantra or like a mission statement for the work that you do, kind of like supporting the life that you want?
Oh, that's interesting. When you started the question, I had another answer pop into my head because I thought I knew where you were going with this.
I would like to know, what was that one? And then
that was the mantra, or the thing that I always say in every single one of my videos is how I close out my videos. Remember, you are someone's reason to smile, so don't give up. Or I have this one back here, which you can see that says, you can have videos or you can have excuses, you choose.
Oh, hey. That's good.
Nothing specific is popping to mind. That it's just like success is inevitable, and I'm here to change lives, so I can't give up on those people.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's really good. How are you? Like, what are you doing to market what you're doing?
So I run different free events over the course of the year. One of the big ones that I do at least twice a year is called the #130, where I block out my calendar and I do 15-minute calls with 100 people.
Oh, wow.
And I love doing this because it is such a win-win. Like, people might be like, oh, what a waste of time. You're doing free consults with.
That's how those people talk too. I've heard them. They're like, ugh, like, what is
gross
doing? Yes, I've heard those people. I know some of those same people.
You know what I told those people? I said, shut up. It's my business and I get to do what I want.
Exactly.
And I get to do it how I want. And I make the rules over here. And I like creating win-wins. And for me, like, it's never a waste of time. Even if the person doesn't end up buying with me or working with me, it's a win for them because they're getting a quick answer to, something that is concerning of them. And then if they're serious enough to take the next step, then they know where I am and they know my name. And now they may tell 3 other friends like, hey, I know who you need to go to for video, even if they don't end up using me.
Yeah. Love that.
It's a win because I get to keep my finger on the pulse of what is actually of concern to my audience. Like, I have people fill out a questionnaire before they can hop on the call with me, and I ask them very specific questions, and then I use that information to create my content. So it's a win for me because they're basically telling me in their own words. So I can use that language, the words that people are using to create not only my content, but also like any ads or copy or social media posts or anything, YouTube videos, Reels, TikToks, Instagram posts, whatever. I'm using that stuff for content for an entire year. So it's a win for that. And then it's a win because I always end up turning it into clients, even though there's no hard pitch.
Yeah.
the two things I close out the call with is like, I'm not here to pitch you. Like, I just want to see you take action. So here's what you could take action on right now. And if you enjoyed this call, just share with your friends on social media, tag me. And if you know somebody else who can benefit from a call like this, feel free to share the link. I'll be doing these calls all month. So it gets that person who's now pumped that they just had this amazing breakthrough with me in literally minutes.
Yeah.
Because I can easily solve a lot of the questions that come through in just a few minutes. They're pumped that they can have something that they can take action on. So they run and they tell some other people. So I end up filling, spots with people who referred people to me. So it's like free advertising without me having to spend money on advertising. I'm now reaching out to people who would not have heard my name otherwise.
Mm-hmm. So you're asking, or you're telling your list, like the question was like, how are you marketing your business? So I imagine you're telling your list, you're hopping on social saying, hey, I'm doing this. Are you doing any paid ads? Are you doing anything else like that?
No, I normally don't. I don't have to do paid ads to this because I typically fill it up. If not, get it to a point where I'm like, okay, that's good. Like, I think the last time I ran it, I had like 70 people, like not 100, but like, that's good. That's good for me. Yeah.
And so do you run ads for like the course or the membership itself?
I was running ads in the past to my video challenges.
Okay. Yeah.
And I found that, a little success in that, but I feel like I don't even need to do that anymore because it's like I have such great word of mouth and referral because anybody who's ever worked with me is like, oh my God, you're amazing.
Yeah. Right. I love that.
So if I could probably, spend some money and boost that up just a notch.
Yeah. I mean,
now that I'm done having children and I'm back to business over here.
Yeah. How long ago, like when did you?
I had my second son in February. So he's coming up. It's just about a year. He'll be a year this February.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I have my daughter turned 6 today.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yep. She's pumped. Man, so pumped.
I feel like I'm still in the deep dark forest over here with the young children. I have a 2.5-year-old and a almost 1-year-old.
I was reminiscing this morning, my physical therapist, on having little tiny children and going to the park and the sidewalks that we used to live on. Those are good times, rich, just so many rich moments.
Yes. And I realize how quickly they fade away. When my son comes and crawls into my lap and wants to give me a hug, and I know like I'm going to blink and he's going to be a teenager, like, don't touch me. So I'm trying to be super conscious of the time. And that's also why I kind of reorganized my business, and I'm only, doing, what I want to do because I want to also be able to spend time with my children when I want to be able to spend time with my children. Because this time is not time I can get back.
Yeah.
I can always make more money. That's right. But I can't make more time.
You could always make more babies too. I mean, it's like,
I'm sure my husband would be excited to hear that thought, but, or at least the part that goes with it.
Yeah. The first part.
The first part. Yeah.
Oh man. That's really funny.
The carrying of the baby for the 9 months, the part that I have to do.
Yeah.
I think I'm done right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, make sure your husband doesn't listen to this episode. Well, what are you excited about? Like what's on the forefront that you're just really pumped about and looking forward to?
This is why just getting more of the right people into Video Made Easy. Cause it's like my playground. And I absolutely, like there's a saying, and I don't know, I'm not going to quote the right person cause I don't know who said it, but when you do what you love, you never feel like you're working. And I never feel like I'm working because I absolutely love what I do. And I want to be able to share that with as many people as possible.
I love that. I would say that one of the challenges with that, because I resonate with that quote as well, but one of the challenges for people like us is having healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Right. Is that a challenge for yourself?
It used to be, I think, until I had children, and then there's I have healthier boundaries now.
Yeah. Because
I could give and give and give and give and give.
Yep.
But because I'm tired sometimes,
right,
to cut that off at a certain level.
Yeah. But even, to take that a step further, this isn't to call you out or anything, but like,
sure.
that's what a lot of us do. It's like we have kids or, or we get married or whatever. And it's like, okay, there's something. So, okay, I'm tired, so that I can't give any more. It's like, well, I don't want to give my kids my tired self, right? I want to give them my full, like, I'm energized, I'm like ready to play with them, or my wife,
Yep.
I'm ready to play with her, or where is this podcast going? So that's part of the challenge too, is to be very proactive and be very conscious of when we're working, when we're not, when we're,
Yes.
bringing our full self to our work. That's super important, but also being able to bring our full self to our kids, to our spouse, to the people that mean stuff in our lives. Because
Absolutely.
in this work, so many people do this work because they love it so much. It's so fun. It's so fulfilling. We get to flex our creative muscle. We get to try things as an entrepreneur, but we can easily, days or weeks or months can turn into years. And we're like, holy cow, like I didn't get to spend that time with my kids that I wanted. Or I didn't, really bring myself fully into my marriage. I just got done with a podcast interview with my friend Evan, who's like, man, I was not loving my wife like I should, because he was so into the work and kind of, just let that was just one of the many things on his plate.
And honestly, I love that. And I love what you just said. It's so important to make sure that you do have, carved out time to be present and energized about spending time with your family and your, your loved ones and your children and your friends. And when we can all go out again, to go out and do fun stuff. So that's actually something that my children have given to me, because before them, all I would do was work.
Yeah.
I would just work, because my work was my outlet, was my release, was my was my, like my everything. Like I would just pour everything into my work. So after my first son was born, I was like, okay, I definitely want to make sure that when I'm with my son, I'm with my son.
Right.
I'm not like on my phone, like trying to like answer emails. Like that's not happening. It's not going to happen. And after my second son, I was like, absolutely. Like I need to change how I'm working in my business. And I got to tell you, it's actually made me more productive, more focused, and more able to, really compartmentalize, like my work is over here. And when I'm doing it, I'm full in on my work. I'm all about my work. And I know I have very specific times where I can work because I'm working from my home. So I know I need to be able to have somebody else I trust to be able to be taking care of my children while I'm working, so that I can be full into my work. And then when I shut my work off, I am done with work for the day and I'm all about my kids. So yes, that's something that they have given to me that I did not have before.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I love that. That's really good. Well, Holly, how can people keep up with what all of your happenings?
Oh, all of my happenings. Well, so it depends. Are you an Instagram person or a Facebook person? If you're Instagram, come on over. Holly G Studios at Instagram. You can DM me and send me messages. Only good ones though, please. And then if you're on Facebook, I have a Facebook group called the Holly G's VIPs, which I like to hang out in there on a daily.
Oh man, you're funny. I like it. Well, how do you want to leave us today? Remember our audience is, we're filmmakers, we're video makers, we're trying to make a go at this business, trying to build something that's sustainable that we can do for a long time, adding lots of value, but also experiencing all the good stuff that life has to offer, which isn't just work. How can you encourage us today?
I think in the same way, I think the sentiment applies here as well. Is remember, you are someone's reason to smile. So don't give up, whether that's your client, your family, or yourself.
It's awesome. Holly G, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for blessing us with your presence today. Super fun to be with you. And thanks for all of your insight. I am inspired. Definitely have some notes and things to think about. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap.
Thanks for hanging out on this episode. Leave a comment below. I would love to know, what is your biggest takeaway from this episode? What are you taking away? What are you going to do? What are you going to stop doing? How are you thinking differently? Was this a total waste of your time? Just kidding. Hopefully it wasn't. What do you think about creating a membership site for your own clients that would pay you on a monthly basis for you to help them with video stuff? Don't forget, sign up for the 5-day Grow Your Video Business Challenge at studiosherpas.com/challenge. Hope to see you at that event. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Adios. Back when I started my video company, stock footage, it used to be the worst. It was terrible quality, super cheesy shots, and really small selection, and it was really expensive. That is not the case with Storyblocks. They offer affordable subscription plans to their enormous library of stock footage, and with their unlimited access plan, you get access to the whole library, including HD and 4K footage. They've got After Effects and Premiere Pro templates, music, images, sound effects, and more. Seriously, there is tons. There have been so many projects where our team just needed one extra shot. Maybe the day after the shoot, the client was like, hey, this would have been a great thing to get. And we're like, ah. Or in post-production, they're like, hey, it'd be a really cool shot. We've saved our clients and ourselves a ton of money and headaches and heartaches. And we've saved a couple of projects that just needed that one special shot with our Storyblocks subscription. Head over to storyblocks.com/Studio Sherpas to help you create more video with their affordable subscriptions.